Good evening.
Look at
Sorry about that. Item 4, public hearing, application 23-56, Munford Construction LLC. Owner of 0 Logan's Lane, map 137, block 20, lot 6M, zone rural residential agricultural district RRAD. Request a 3-lot re-subdivision in compliance with 2023 amended subdivision regulations, Article 3 and Article 4. Public hearing is open and for the applicant.
I'm Terry Jensen, I'm management for the applicant. The applicant, Greg Bunford is here as well. And as you mentioned, it's a 3-lot subdivision, 3.92 acre parcel, and we're providing 1.2, 1.3 acre parcel with a shared driveway. There's no wetlands on the property. The soils are decent. We have about a 4 to 6 foot water table. We have NDH approval for our wells and our septic. We went over the plan with the DPW director, and he didn't see any problems. He did want us to change out the catch basin, which we planned on doing. So fires aren't running over the catch basin. The fire marshal had a few concerns. And we addressed those today. I was able to send him out a plan today. So his concern was just with the turnaround, making sure that his truck would fit, and we made that larger. And he okayed that.
You would, excuse me.
Did you get one, Mike?
I do.
Packet from the town clerk's office. I don't have a key to that.
Yeah, is my.
Mr. Mr. Sini's message. I appreciate Ms. Genti's video. I reviewed the proposed 3-lot re-subdivision on Logan's Lane. A cistern is not required at this time. However, I was concerned with fire apparatus turning capabilities for lot 6M-3. I was contacted by your engineer today, Genti's.
Yes.
With her revised wide turnaround proposal is submitted and attached. I appreciate Ms. Genti's attention and revision to meet my concerns and approve of her modifications as presented. And so we have the.
So we'll bring that into the final set of. And revise the easement as well. For this fund. Full turnaround is within the easement, and no problem. It's cared for by the association. Greg's lawyers put together an association for the project to make sure that maintenance is done for both the drainage swale adjacent to the driveway and the driveway. And other than that, if there's questions, I can answer.
Did you have a question, Ms. Miller?
Well, I was just gonna ask you about the turnaround area. So that's more or less in the lot 2 to 3 area?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's where my question was. So that's where you had to cut, because the original one you had looked a little smaller than what you did. So you're just making it like a 60-foot and widening it out to 60 foot.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
John, you can see the whole meeting.
Correct.
Any other questions from commission members at this time? Mr. Hill?
Yeah, a foot of snow, where is it going?
Well, we have a 16-foot wide driveway.
Yeah.
So as you plow down the driveway, there's room for storage on the side. And then, right. I think.
I see no provision.
I think that they'll plow straight down. And not in the turnaround, there's room. Yeah, I think there's some storage in here that won't be on the septic.
What was that?
There's just a little feedback off somebody's.
I think there'll be storage in here.
It wasn't go around the corner at the end of Logan's Lane.
Right,
It's
right.
gonna be up to you. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Hill. Mr. Santos?
Let me remind me.
the 16-foot driveway, is that wide enough for two vehicle in case of an emergency or some other event? I was like.
It is 16 is what you have in your regulation.
That's what it is?
For a shared driveway,
Okay,
and you
very
can pass, a car is like 6.5.
Yeah.
So, you know, a bigger truck, maybe 7,
I
but
just couldn't remember if it was 6.
yeah. Like a parking space would be 8.5 to 9.
Okay.
So within-
Thank you, Mr. Santos.
Just one more.
Yes.
When we evaluate and approve these, and there is an agreement. We're not approving the agreement, right? We're just saying that we've established one. And we make note, like, we want to make sure that people understand that they have to maintain and plow the driveways. The question is more for our group. Are we approving the association agreement when we say, yep, this is approved, like application, blah, blah, blah? I'm not comfortable.
Right,
I'm
right.
not- Brian, it's not our place to approve
Yeah.
an association agreement.
Thank you, Ms. Halsey. Ms. Dunn.
But it's in your regulations. It's one of the condition compliance.
Yeah.
The president.
Not to approve. the-
Yeah.
And Ms. Dunn, if I mean, you forwarded it to.
Yeah, they're all always forwarded to.
Yeah, I saw what
our
we're
attorney. You need to approve that. So that's all approved by the.
For sure that he said it's approved. but-
Ms.
Yeah,
Patton.
I believe the specific language is in a form acceptable to town council. So if he's not flagging it as problematic,
Okay, very
Yes,
good.
Cindy forwarded it to town council.
Yeah, it's all right. All right.
Thank you, Ms. Dunn. Thank you, Ms. Dunn. Mr. Kowalski.
The driveway that's going up the lot that's to the far right, that whole thing is paved, right? Because I just see that there's paved driveways on both of those noted. That, I'm assuming the long one is paved as well. I just can't see a note anywhere on my plans.
The main driver will be paved.
Okay,
Prior to any transfer of lots or anything like that.
you see what I'm saying on the, because it says paved on the other two, I just wanted to make sure.
I think the owner wants to do that, but I think
Yeah.
that's gonna be an owner's preference.
Okay,
Outside of the easement area and the turnaround, that will be paved.
okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Kowalski. Anyone have a question from the commission right now? Any question or comment from the public? Sir.
My name is Ronald Martin, we're at 39 Wilkins Lane. I'm just wondering, like, this electrical easement that the box that sits on it currently, 10 feet over his line, is for my house. I already had to shut his digging down, he had his excavator digging a driveway and over my utility. I shut that down and he started to move it to the other side of the box. What's going on with that? Like, the box can be moved, what's going on with my house, like, maybe without electricity, for how long, who knows, like. Where, like, and also like trash receptacles. Where's the trash pickup, everybody on my road has receptacles. So, like, and there's only like 15 feet of frontage on the property, so I don't understand where it's all with that.
Thank you, Mr. Martin.
Yeah, I believe we have 28 feet of frontage, so I think there will be the room there for trash receptacles, but we're working with Eversource. When the subdivision was built, they improperly, but usually the boxes that.
Yeah,
you're
it was
referring
6
to
years
is-
before I was there.
Yeah, so usually it should have been put on the property line. So they recognize that something went wrong there during construction of the subdivision. But we won't disrupt your service. They're working on a plan to.
Also, I did have a property pin pulled. The steel pin was pulled. And his excavator admitted that it was there 2 weeks prior to that date. That's when I called town hall and they said, hey, what should I do? Is there any way that can be replaced?
Yeah.
You can get that.
When the engineer, we could sort of get it all through. We're bound. So we'll put in the front bounds. replace the bound, that's the bound that you're into. So-
Right.
Okay. You can note it out and make sure you get it back in.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Ma'am, the problem he just said is, if you look at the map or on this one that I have here, it's this shade, this area right in here is where all the electrical distribution supposed to be in this spot right here. Yeah.
Maybe if you go to the next. Normally, they're right on the property line between two lots
Correct.
and. So it's a little hard to see here. I can point it out on the big.
Okay,
bring
so
it
it's
over.
right in
It's
the
right
area,
in the middle.
the
So
middle of
it's in the middle of his frontage where it should have been placed to one side or the other. So,
that's where you're coming off
yeah, the cul-de-sac.
the cul-de-sac
We're gonna
is
use-
is the entrance way, so it should have been, okay, so.
Yeah,
long
it
as that-
should have been here. The original Eversource plans call for it there. We met their engineer out there.
Okay,
And he's working on a plan to resolve that.
okay,
That was something that occurred with the last
Okay.
building.
all right. Cause I was looking at this, right, area there and. Okay, thank you.
Mr. Plonsky, then Mr. Williams, and then Chelsea.
So are you happy with that? You know, what they're saying for the electrical,
Well, I mean, I'm good, like I said, how long am I gonna do without power? Like, what's going on with that? I don't understand that either.
well, they're saying that you shouldn't be, your power shouldn't be disrupted.
It can be moved without being turned off.
What's your usual when you're working on something?
That's,
Mr.
the power can be moved, but that's all on Eversource. Okay, that's their jurisdiction. We can't say yes or no to them how to do it. They're the ones that have to say, okay, we're gonna do this. And it would be probably their responsibility to make sure you still got power. But they might tell you at a certain time of day, because a lot of times I'm gonna use big construction sites, when they have to tap into a system, they let everybody know it's gonna be down for a half an hour. So you're not gonna be all day or 2 days. They're gonna try to minimize it to the best they can, Mr. Mark. Okay, but that will fall back on also on this young lady's shoulders, let's put it that way. Thank you.
The way it's been established, it basically cuts off any access to his property.
Right.
And that it was like oversight during the construction of all this.
Mr. Professor.
So this is indicating there's a CLMP easement around that whole cul-de-sac there, right? Even not on Greg's Pro, it's all around.
Right.
Yeah, so it's all within that, it's all encompassed within that easement. It's a matter of relocating the transformer, but within the existing easement that is currently there. I just wanted to make that point so that we're not recreating anything with this. It's the easement is existing. Thank you.
Were you?
Yes, I wanted to make sure that this gentleman would understand that you really, just like the vice chair had said, they'll let you know how long the power is gonna be out. We're gonna correct it, and you'll make sure that his line peg, his property peg gets put in, back in where it was. So that's squared away, and if this is all taken care of, does that make you comfortable?
Well, one more thing, it was like 6 to 8 weeks, and he had crews there when he was clearing the land. And there was never a portage on there, so I had to basically had to tell my kids not to look out the window.
Really?
Hey,
Okay, so I would assume that you'll make sure that that is corrected, because that would not be anything I would want to look out the window and see either.
how many times I see you guys hopping out of the machine, that's right there.
Okay,
Sometimes they'll be on site and people don't like to use them. That as well.
Not acceptable, and I agree, not acceptable, especially if you have children, not acceptable.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. Mr. Santos.
One more to me, the 28-foot frontage, was that pre-established in the original? That's how that came to be?
Yeah.
Okay, very good.
Any other questions or comments? Cindy, in your communications with other departments and
Yes, there's all, yeah, and all in the record. Everything is there.
no concerns from your end,
What?
no concerns from your end.
No.
A motion to close?
I'll second.
Motion has been made to close the public hearing by Mr. Santos, seconded by Ms. Salsi. Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, a yes will close public hearing, a no will keep open. Mr. Hill.
Mr. Hill, yeah. Mike Ogle, yes.
Jane Salty, yes.
Hey, Williams, yes.
Brian Santos, yes.
Randy Blackmore, yes.
Dave Paplowski, yes.
Ryan Snyder, yeah.
John B. Lindsay, yes.
Joseph Perotti Brown, yes, public hearing is closed. Item 5, discuss public hearing.
If hearing none, Mr. Chair, I would like to make a motion to close the public hearing.
To approve to approve the application?
Yes, I'm sorry.
I'll second that.
Motion made by Mr. Lanky to approve the application, seconded by Ms. Salsi. I would just request Mr. Lanky and Ms. Salsi to include the conditions that.
I was just gonna raise, yes, I
That
want
the-
the conditions put in place so that this gentleman is happy and that the other things that were discussed were taken care of.
Yeah, so,
Okay, so what are the conditions? I gotta
What-
have them accurate, please.
yeah,
Place the pin and move the electric entrance box or whatever it is.
no, no, I'm discussing the motion.
Okay.
Yeah, we're discussing the motion that has been made.
Am I allowed to ask a question?
Not at this point, I'm sorry. The conditions I would like to see, would be the updated turnaround on the lot in question, the replacement of the property pin.
I'm not following you. Updated on what?
I'm sorry, the updated driveway configuration on lot 3.
Updated turnaround in the driveway on lot 3. Lot 3, okay, got that.
And the replacement of the property pin in question,
The replacement of what?
of the property pin on the
Oh,
Martin
okay.
property.
And what is your property?
39 Logan's Lane.
39 Logan Green. Okay,
Looking at Mr. Williams.
You brought up the updated driveway. No, you're not saying.
I'm sorry.
Mr. Paplowski brought up about the other two being paved, saying paved and this one not. Is that what you're talking?
No, I'm referring to the turnaround.
Oh, okay. Okay. I can say there's other people that don't.
Yeah, no, sorry, yeah, I apologize. for
I
that.
just misunderstood. I just wanted to get that clear.
Mr. Paplowski,
I think we should also include the catch basin that, the DPW director asked for. I know that there's 2 there. I don't know if we should specifically call out the one specific, because there is 2, right? It looks like it just 2. I mean, just for you guys, it should be noted, you know, and he didn't, I don't see where he called it out specifically, like catch basin 1 or 2. But I think we should add that.
And it is on the plan that I.
Yep.
I followed up.
Okay.
Dave, can we just reference the January 9th letter, because there's 4 items on it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I agree. I amend my condition.
so it'd be, Cindy, the conditions laid out in the January 9th letter from the Director of Public Works. Anything further? Mr. Linky, will you move as amended? Or will you amend your motion to include those conditions, I should say?
Yes,
And
Yeah.
Jane seconds as amended. Any further discussion?
Want money to be on site?
With the sign, it says you have to use the porta potty on the road.
I put it off the property line.
Any,
Is that a condition done?
what's that? What was that again?
do you want the porta potty as a condition?
Now we get real.
Yeah, no. they-
No, that's getting
Potties are
ridiculous.
there, correct?
Yeah,
They just chose not to use them, or are there no porta potties?
Clearing at that point, but during construction, when constructing them.
Okay,
usually, Mr. Chair, usually when they bring porta potties on jobs like that, they put them in the area where they're working. They don't put them 100 feet
oh,
down the
yeah, no,
road.
I'm familiar with
But
that,
that's on him where he positions them,
yeah.
long as it doesn't affect the cul-de-sac or the neighbor or whatever.
So.
Okay.
What happens when he starts constructing this?
So I'm sorry, just 1 minute. We've got a motion on the table that we need to move with. I'm sorry.
Thank you. But the thing is that,
Oh, I know. I've been to
that's it,
sites.
you know, I
Yeah.
mean, that's getting a little,
Yeah, it's nitpicky, it's just
Yeah.
nice if they would use them.
Okay, so the motion with conditions has been made and seconded. Is there any further discussion on the motion with conditions? Hearing none, a yes will approve with condition, a no will deny. Mr. Lanky.
John B. Linky, yes.
Brian Canoyer, yes. Dave Patlowski, yes.
Randy Montgomery, yes.
Brian Santos, yes.
Ray Williams, yes.
James also, yes.
Mike Burgley, yes.
Alan Hill, yes. Joseph Brody Brown, yes. So the application is approved.
Did John vote?
Yes, he started. Item 6, citizens comment.
Somebody wanted to say something?
Yeah, something else.
Yeah.
I have a question. We just said, you're a real cocksucker.
Who did?
Okay, well,
But,
That's between you and him out there.
this is my first time here. Do I just come up to the mic?
yes,
Yes.
please, and your name and address, please.
Keith Rancic, 56, North Oxford Street, Oxford, Mass. I'm just coming to get my feet wet and figure out all the how to do all this stuff. I'd like to develop some property in town. And the one question I have in regards to this agenda is, what does the movement of the pin mean? What is a pin property?
Yeah, a property pin, a property marker had been removed. So it just marks the property line.
And what's the significance of that?
It's a visible marker of where the property line is.
We would know where it is. It's been there for a while, so what's the real significance of it? Why is it such a condition?
It may
Usually.
say something.
It's a corner.
It literally marks where the property, your property is and somebody else's property is. That way there is no question because the property line is there. When it's taken out, I had a neighbor that had to do it. They had to have somebody come in to do the property lines all over again and make sure it's there. So it is.
We
it's a-
build off of it.
Yeah, you just
That's
want
how-
that there so that you know. That's how we get our maps. That's so that you know where the property ends and the other property begins. And to take it out, then you've gotta have it mapped out again and everything else. So it is a tool that's used to delineate the property lines.
Sure, man.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, I appreciate it. Thank you.
During construction, when you're in there with equipment and stuff, they get knocked around.
Missed it here, when they were all done.
Mr. Lindsay.
Sir, to finish what you just, said is that pin marks the corners. That's what we call an established point. So when you have a deed to a piece of property, it'll say 200 feet northwest going south on such and such. So that one pin or whatever starts, so when they take their line and everything to the next pin, which develops the property lines. So it has to be put back in the exact same spot Cause if you can take, if it got pulled out of the ground, you can put it back, you could be off 3 feet or 2 feet. So all that does is that it has to be established back there, like she says. I know some people that had to have somebody do it, they had to bring in. What's it, J&D, just, and it was off. But that's all it is,
Thank
that's
you,
all it
Mr.
does.
Langley. Thank you.
I,
Ms. Halsey.
sir, may I have your name again, please?
Keith Radzik.
Keith Bradshaw. Okay, thank you.
Any other comments at this time? Mr. Lang.
Well, if you, 25 Watson Road. I should have said it before, but anybody that's working construction of subdivisions, Eversource will lay out their transformers, they'll put them in specific places, and anything that's added to it, they'll run a trunk line off of it, they will not move it, transform. That'll never happen. And if there's, like I say, if there's gonna be another subdivision going on, it's gonna be in addition to that subdivision, they'll run a trunk line from that. To go down to accommodate the extra houses going down there, they're not gonna come in there and pick that up and move it down the road. For somebody.
Right.
Thank you.
And that's what they do.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Lang. Seeing no other comments at this time. Item 7, approve the minutes of the December 27th meeting.
I'll move to approve. I do have one condition, no one's done.
Motion has been made by Mr. Santos, seconded by Mr. Blackmer to approve the minutes. Any discussion? Mr. Santos?
It's on page 3, Kevin, at the top of it, and says it's 50-foot trench, 3 Santos is passed, if trees are being removed. And Schneider states no. Can we just add another sentence, because they asked another question there? And the question was for the CEO, whether or not all of the setback requirements have been made, and the answer was yes.
What was that again, Brian? The second question was, have all the setbacks been made? Okay,
It's been followed.
have been followed.
Right up.
All up here.
And the answer was yes.
That's easy. Oh, that's yes. Is there any objection to that amendment? Seeing none. Any further comments? A yes vote will approve as amended. A no vote will deny. Mr. Hill.
Elton Hill, yes. Mike over there.
Things off the yes.
Ray Williams abstaining.
And Santos, yes.
Randy Blackmer, yes.
Dave Pavelski abstaining.
Ryan Connor, yes.
John B. Linky, yes.
Joseph Brody Brown, yes. No, the minutes are approved. Application 23-55, Jeffrey Humes, owner of 374 Thompson Road. Map 105, block 40, lot 13, Stone Thompson Common Village District, PCZD, requesting a zoning permit of commission site plan review to operate a country inn with on-site events and accessory structures, zoning regulations, Article 9, Section 275, 9.2, table of permitted uses 9, and Article 2, construction and definitions of country inn. All of that to say that Mr. Humes has withdrawn his application.
But he would like to have the, he's going to reapply, and he would like to have the waiver, the fee waived. So I need a approval for that.
Are you requesting that vote now or at the time of his reapplication?
What did you ask?
Are you requesting that vote now or at the time of his reapplication?
No, now.
Now,
Okay, Ms. Salsi and then Mr. Williams.
does he have an idea as to when he's gonna reapply?
How many, couple months?
Okay,
Mr. Williams.
And he already paid his application?
Yes,
fee?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
now make a motion that
I'll second.
fee be waived.
I'll second that. Motion made by Ms. Salsi to waive a fee when this application is reapplied. Seconded by Mr. Hill. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, a yes will waive the fee and no will not. Mr. Lindsay.
John B. Linky, yes.
Ryan Connor, yes.
Dave Pavelski, yes.
Randy Blackmer, yes.
Brian Santos, yes.
Ray Williams, yes.
Jane Salsi, yes.
Mike Gogol, yes.
Alvin Hill, yes.
Joseph Brody Brown, yes. Application 24-01, application Hassan Naifa, owner of 15 Market Lane, map 169, block 93, lot 3, zone DMRD. 0.3 acres, requesting to increase existing multi-housing from 8 apartments to 12 apartments, increase of 4 apartments. Zoning permit with site plan review by commission according to the Town of Thompson zoning regulations, Article 12, from 274, 12.2, number 21. And Article 4, 275, 4, A and B. Good evening. Do you have anything, just your name and address, please?
Hassan Naifa, 15 Market Lane.
And we have the application. Are there any questions for Mr. Naife? Mr. Williams?
They're just redoing the third floor, the apartments that were always up there, nobody ever used them with the program.
Williams?
One more, it's not really us, to do with the fire marshal, I guess, I didn't see that, is there gonna be, fire, escapes, or?
We're going to make fire statement from the.
Okay,
I think he laid that out on.
yeah, I think I.
It should be,
Yeah.
The emergency exit and the emergency stairs.
I know a lot of people used to live there years ago, and, you know, it was always empty, you know, nobody ever used that up there, so. To me, it'd be nice for you to be able to make some money off.
Mr. Santos?
We feel like the Amy needs to look at this or.
Oh, he will not get his building permit until,
So you get.
Danny signs off on it, definitely.
Mr. Blackmer?
Okay, Cindy, do you have anything else to add? You comfortable with it?
I'm comfortable with it, I went by, you know, and looked at it, the part, you know, there's another one being done too, and you know, a couple of them are having siding put on, so I think it's gonna be a big improvement. down
It's gonna
there.
look really
You know,
good, much better. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very happy with that, we made a parking plan. Yeah. Did you get the parking plan? Oh, yeah, here it is.
Right?
So, yeah.
No. The parking plan didn't really change that much. It shouldn't have,
No, well,
from the last one to this one, it shouldn't have changed that much. Where is it? Oh, it's not, oh, it's not here.
Yeah, that's just a
you give it out like that.
Yeah. Which is.
Any further questions for Naife?
No, I'm good, thank you. I just didn't have that in my packet. I wasn't sure what I was doing.
A motion to approve
I'll second.
2401.
Mr. Santos moves, Ms. Salsi seconds the approval of the application 24-01. Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, a yes will approve, a no will deny. Mr. Hill?
Oh, hell, yeah. Mike Kruger, yes.
Ms. Salsi?
Oh, sorry, Jane Salsi, yes.
Ray Williams, yes.
Mike Sanders, yes.
Freddie Blackmer, yes.
They're supposed to be yes.
Ryan Connor, yes.
John B. Linky, yes.
Joseph Brody Brown, yes. Thank you very much. Have a good
And
evening.
you'll be getting a letter from me. Wednesday.
Application 24-02, applicant John and Cheryl Lewinsky, property owner of 90 Thompson Road, map 87, block 38, lot 16, zone rural residential agricultural district, RRAD, request a 3-lot subdivision in compliance with 2023 amended subdivision regulations, articles 3 and 4.
Looks like you've got, in the Zoom room for the applicant, the engineer and both the owners.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, but you're just accepting it.
Yeah, I was gonna,
Yeah.
I make a motion that we accept it, but, I make a motion that we accept PZC 24-02 for public hearing,
And our
Excuse me.
next-
in February.
yes.
Mr. Chairman, may I comment, please?
Yes.
All right. Norm Tebow, Killingley Engineering Associates. I am here representing the Lewinsky's, who are also dialed in this evening. I did have a conversation with with Ms. Dunn last week regarding whether or not this was a subdivision or re-subdivision. At the time, I indicated to her that it was a re-subdivision, and she informed me at that time that it would require a public hearing. Since that time, I did realize that I misinformed her. This is actually a subdivision, not a re-subdivision, which doesn't necessarily require a public hearing. It's certainly within your purview to schedule one if you feel it is appropriate. This is an existing 52.5 acre parcel. The Lewinsky's currently reside there. And they're splitting off two smaller lots, one of them for their son to build on, and another lot to have possibly for another family member in the future, but there are no immediate plans for that particular lot. So I would ask the commission to reconsider whether or not they want to have a public hearing for this particular application. And you know, I will certainly be here next month to present everything. We are currently before the Wetlands Commission. That will be on February 13th, where we have our meeting with the Inland Wetlands Commission. And we did also receive approval from the Northeast District Department of Health already for the proposed subdivision. So that being said, I'll give it back over to you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Tebow. Ms. Folsey?
Okay, so it is not a re-subdivision, it is just a subdivision.
Right, because when I went to research it, I could not find the original subdivision,
Okay.
so that's when I called him. I found some information, because Marianapolis Prep subdivided land up there. And he told me it was a re-subdivision, and so that's what I put at that time, that's why I put it in that. And, you know, and of course, you didn't get all the information that, you know, the applicant. But we have to wait for inland wetlands then.
Okay.
So it's just the,
So it will be classified as a subdivision, not a
Not-
re-subdivision,
right, so it won't
and
be
you're
a
okay
public
with
hearing.
that?
Yeah.
It's wetlands.
oh, yeah, I'm
Okay.
definitely okay.
I withdraw my motion, Mr. Chair.
Okay,
Okay,
Thank you,
Mr.
Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Tebow. Mr. Papatsky withdraws his motion, and I to table this application to the February meeting as a
after
subdivision.
we hear from the
Yeah.
wetlands and everything, okay.
Thank you, Mr. Tebow. Thank you, Ms. Dunn.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Application 24-03, applicant Arthur Brenner, property owner Dudley Standing Gravel, Adelina and William Keeley of 0 Rachel Drive, map 83, block 57, lot 5, zone common residential district, CRD, 0.56 acres. Request a special permit for multifamily dwellings of 3 or more units in compliance with zoning regulations. Article 8, section 275, 8.2, number 7. And Ms. Dunn.
Okay, so, before I left the office today, the designer, the engineer called me and the property owner, the Healy, Mrs. Healy particularly, is not signing the application. So, they do not want this to be opened until March, so next month we'll accept it for a public hearing in March. So basically, the application's been complete. And I checked with the attorney before I left work, and he confirmed that, and I have it right here if anybody wants to see it. Legally, we're within the 5-day opening time frame to open.
Without objection, we'll table application 24-03 to our February meeting. Mr.
Just a simple question, is the, so do we start the 65 days now or start the 65 days when they said?
You have 65 days to.
So we haven't, he hasn't, asked for anything yet, so why are we accepting anything?
No, we're not accepting.
I don't think we're accepting.
Date of
Well, the time shouldn't start till we get something to accept, right?
The date of receipt, which starts 65-day clock for opening the public hearing, is today. So there should not be an issue with the March date.
No,
But we have
why does it even start till February?
Yeah, I think Mr. Blacker's point is that if the application is not completed without a signature, then we haven't
It's not.
officially
nothing.
received an application.
That's the date of receipt, which starts 65-day clock for opening the public hearing is today.
But we
This is
haven't
from
had
the
a-
attorney, but this is from the attorney.
So
I
they-
received it and in the regulations, the state statutes, as I go through them, occasionally for different things, it says, even if an application isn't complete, the office still has to accept that application.
Okay.
I'll take your word for it, it's just a question.
Yeah, great.
That's, I bring that up all the time about with these applications, and they should not be we shouldn't start our 65 days until everything is completed.
But thank you for that clarification from this.
Yeah.
So hearing no objection to tabling, application 2403 will be tabled to the February meeting. Hear no objection. Item 9, reports of officers and staff, budget. Noyer.
Good evening. In terms of the budget expenditures for the following year, looking forward to 25. I do have a few suggestions, proposals. These have not been submitted as of yet. I will be meeting with Bill Steglitz as instructed. I will be preferably meeting with him in the coming week or so, depending on his schedule. I'm told that he's available on Wednesdays. First proposal is to increase the zoning officer's hours from 19 to 25. The result would be an increase from 26,800 to 35,263. That assumes a flat, no increase on the 2.25% that most people are typically getting, but it does increase the hours 25 to 19, which I'm pretty sure everyone in the room can agree that she puts in that much time and probably a lot more. And we're probably very lucky to have someone like that. In addition, zoning officer, there was a proposal for an administrative position. There was two different proposals. One I saw in writing that a nearby town receives $20 an hour for that position, or $22.50 per hour. I ran the numbers at 20. Where I came out with was it's going to be approximately $76.80 per year, doing basic math, which I passed around on some handouts that everyone should have in addition to this. The secretary's the planning and zoning secretary would remain constant with the 2.25% increase. The other affiliations are relatively flat year over year for 24 versus 25. The only addition was the professional services, slight increase to 29.50 based on the feedback that I received today in my meeting with Ms. Dunn. The total, based on all of these suggested proposed budgets, is $55,000, and it's going to be basically an increase from 38,356. So it is a 43.4% increase year over year, just like good earnings would be. So that is what I plan to submit and propose. We certainly can discuss it here, or we can wait until I get more feedback from meeting with the finance director.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Yeah.
Did you include in there that the administrative assistant is shared?
Excuse me, I should have clarified that.
Yeah.
The way I ran those numbers, thank you for reminding me of that. The way I ran those numbers was I divided the 16 hours that was proposed by your office, and I divided it by 2. So I basically ran it at 8 hours. So that was that's the result. And you see the breakdown on the sheet here. So it's 50% P&Z, 50% wetlands on the cost side. And I believe when I reviewed the wetlands that their budget was pretty similar to what I came up with over here, although I would have to confirm those numbers with them. That was originally their idea, and I think that what we're trying to do is trying to work with that commission, since the two seem to go hand in hand, and I thought a 50-50 split was fair as we discussed. So the resulting number at 20 hours, excuse me, at $20 per hour, which is a slight discount to the neighboring town, came out to the 76.80 for clarity. And that's 384 hours annually at 8 hours a week.
Mr.
Lincoln.
Ms. Dunn, would you be happy with that setup, sharing
Oh,
Will
yes.
that be helpful to you?
Yes, yes.
In the office, so you
Yeah,
can go out and
both
do
Dan
your
and I.
more site, work and everything and stuff like that, and we'll make sure we keep you in your office down here.
Yeah.
Any other questions or comments?
Thank you, Mr. Secretary.
Sure.
Thank you, Mr. Dwyer, appreciate it. Who's next? That's my, here it is. The planner.
Hi,
Hello.
hi. Nothing of earth-shattering importance. A reminder that the next workshop for the 65 Main project is coming up this Wednesday. That's going to be a combination hybrid, so you can come in. It's going to be here, not the library, because we're going to do some sharing on the big screen. 6 to 8 or 6 o'clock until we end, since we don't have the same hard stop we do at the library. Zoom link is available on the website, or if you email me to RSVP that you would like to attend via Zoom, I can send it to you. I do sort of need to track the confirmed attendees for purposes of grant reporting. And I think most of the people here have been to at least one, if not multiple meetings, just to let you know where we are. We're in the unit during the year-long workshop process where we are looking at the concept plans for the food, forest, and permaculture park. So that unit is going to last through the March meeting. We have concept plans from the permaculture consultant that we're going to start giving comment on so that he can further refine his plans. His deliverable is March to get a final iteration of the plan that we can incorporate into the master plan. So I'd encourage you all to attend. If you attend in person, I'll have pizza, because that's how you get people in a room, is to give them snacks. And they've been going great so far, and love to hear any comments from anybody who has been to them, you know, how they feel they've been going. But just briefly before we get to that, John B. and Cindy and Dan Maglo all attended with me a land use summit panel discussion on Friday that was super, super interesting. We heard from 5 of the state level commissioners from DEEP, who was it? DEP, DOAG, Department of Housing, and the director of the Brownfields Division for DECD, and one of the directors in OPM. They spoke during the morning.
And
Yeah, I got that.
okay,
Yeah, I got
okay.
And then I was on a panel in the afternoon with other municipal, regional, grassroots level organizers or project managers to talk about conservation and land use. So it was really, really cool. They will be opening registration for their spring summit, which is what Santos and Mr. Hill and I attended last March. So once those open, I would encourage people to attend that. They do a fantastic job. Yeah, they were really good. Anyway, and so, yeah, so I'd just love to hear your thoughts on the 65 Main project as it's gone so far, and maybe that'll encourage your fellows to join you as well. Or you could say nothing.
Well,
I personally like them. I think that they have been very interesting so far to date, and the speaker was great, and the other events were very interesting, I think well attended as well.
And the only other thing I would like to add to it is, Tira is doing a good job with it. Started out, I remember, with $2,500, and one guy that showed up with a piece of equipment to get her not flower beds or whatever you want to call them going, so she could have that, get it going, and that's where it all started. I think where it is now and what Mr. Santos doing things with the building and everything, but that's gonna take time, but I think it's a good idea is where somebody that wants to start a small business and needs a room or so can start there, and then when they have to expand, they can expand, move out to somebody else, and it gives anybody else a chance. So we're trying to involve small people, small business people to start. So it's a good place for them to start, and we've got it for them.
I've been struck by the variety of people there. I think that it's been clear that there's a wide swath of community violence.
Yeah, we've been getting about 30 participants per month thus far. I don't have that many confirmed for this month, but some people who have been to everyone, like Ryan, some people who are dropping in, actually following the, because I talked about it at that conference on Friday.
Yes, you did.
My equivalent for the town of Easton, which interestingly is on the western line of the state, expressed interest in zooming in because he's interested in sort of our processes and trying to apply them to his community. So it's got different kinds of reach. But yeah, as you say, Joe, interesting and encouraging to see so many people have interest.
And, Mr. Chair, and to piggyback with her at that conference that I went to, or whatever, if you want to call it, Friday, with Ms. Dunn and her and everything. I really liked it. I enjoyed myself, especially with the speakers and what was brought up and how they're trying to work with each other, the agricultural, what's his name now, the guy is the chair. Great speaker. Like I said, they were interchanging with things and ideas and everything, where one can help the other a little bit here and a little bit there. And that, I think, is where our progress is going to help us going down the road. Not just Northeast, but I think the whole state. They're all trying. We're all trying.
Thank you, Mr. Hodges. Thank you. Ms. Dunn. Ms. Dunn.
I think I covered everything, in my, memo, and Mr. Jake is here to speak on the song thing. And I wrote up a summary on that.
Thank you. Sorry,
It's not yet, Frank.
Item 10, correspondence. We received something from the CBD and planning business regarding a public hearing. Any questions on either of those correspondence items?
Yes, I gave you that, letter from the Aquifer Protection, Department of, Department of DEP.
Yeah.
And I got to notice the, I think, today or Friday, that we are now listed on their contact list and our website's on there. And that's what I had asked them to do. So we are now, the website now on that.
Excellent. Thank you, Ms. Dunn. Item 11, signing of Mylar, application 23-48, applicant Munford Construction Company, property owner of 2 Buckley Hill Road. Map 59, block 61, lot 62, zone DMRD, 0.82 acres, request 3-lot subdivision of property according to 2023 amended subdivision, Article 3 and Article 4, zoning regulations, Article 12, 275-12-3. Approved on September 25th at our meeting.
Mr. Chair,
Mr.
I
Lang.
would like to make the motion that we accept, you sign PZ 23-48.
Mr. Lanky moves the authorization of the chair to sign the Mylars for application 2348, seconded by Mr. Hill. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, a yes vote will authorize the signature, a no vote will not. Mr. Hill.
Alvin Hill, yes. Mike Krugel, yes.
Phyllis also, yes.
Ray Williams, yes. Brian Santos, yes.
Randy Blackmore, yes.
Dave Paplowski, yes. Ron Nori, yes.
John B. Lincoln, yes.
And just Brady Brown, yes.
Mr. Chairman, because we probably are going to have, some more business and not to keep, Greg waiting, can you sign my now?
Certainly, bring it on over. While Ms. Dunn is bringing me the Mylar, we made a goof, friends. Our May meeting is currently scheduled for Memorial Day, a holiday, which is against public law. So,
This one not here.
yeah, exactly. You go back to one month, Dave. And look what happens.
Excellent.
The suggestions have come back the Monday before, which would be Monday, May 20th, or the Wednesday following, which would be Wednesday, May.
You can't do the 29th. That would be the Agriculture Commission. That's a 5th Wednesday.
What's wrong with the 19th?
That's a Sunday, sir. Okay, the consensus seems to be for Monday, May 20th.
Yeah.
Is there any objection to?
Was there a motion on that?
There was not yet a vote.
I'll make a
Okay.
motion that we move the May 27th, 2024 meeting to May 20th, 2024.
Is there a second?
Okay.
Motion has been made by Ms. Halsey, seconded by Mr. Blackmer. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, a yes vote will move, a no vote will not move. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? The meeting is moved. This is September 25th, not today's date.
Date of PZ approval, yes.
New these?
You know, I have contacts.
I know. What's this one? right here?
That's what they were just talking about.
Okay. I think just got one of those stamps made.
Is it anywhere? People would be stamping my name on everything, John.
There you go. Ain't a bad idea. Huh?
And then the
Put it in the
expiration date.
budget.
Would be 5 years from then. So,
Needs a stamp.
what?
5 years.
5 years from-
23, this is September approval. Math, I got that. I got that now. I don't get a lot of that. Okay, thank you for your patience, members. Items 13, new business, sign side waiver for 0 Riverside Drive. Ms. Dunn included this for us.
Where did I put it?
Some notes about,
In your memo, oh, no, see, I think it's not in the memo, it's in,
New business.
yeah.
Under new business.
Sorry.
so,
What's that?
No worries.
our regulations prohibit signs larger than 32 square feet in size. Mr. Jakes is requesting a waiver from the commission on the size limit. Sent us to propose. Yes.
Thank you for allowing me to speak here this evening. In spite of how cold it is out there, and you can hear that it's already bothering my throat. Couple of corrections that need to be implemented here. The address is actually 865 Riverside Drive. And the owner of the property is my company, Cress, CRES.
That's the information that, Joe gave me.
And the last correction is that there's a possibility of building 100,000 square feet out there, not 42,000. Those are just the 3 corrections I'd like to make note of. As for the signs, I believe you all have pictures of the sign. And with the number of square feet that we can build out there could be a number of tenants. How many? We have no way of knowing. But if we're accumulating 32 square feet for the total of the number of tenants that are there and the location of the property, the signs for the tenants would be minimal, would be slivers. So we've got to find a way to try to create the incentive for the economic development of that site for a commercial use and not a mall of any type, not retail of any type, but for businesses that are like, for instance, contractors garages or storage units. As a matter of fact, we've already had 3 calls for the storage units here. At this point right now, they're all looking for very inexpensive storage. Numbers we can't meet at all.
But at least we've begun the process. But I want to be sure that I've stated, because we're not doing retail there at all. This is economic development of commercial use of the property, meaning contractors, doctors, lawyers, and Indian chiefs. And it's right here in the center of the community. So we're looking for some help with creating the right incentive for companies to locate there, and it starts with the visibility. Signage is going to be critically important. And under the current regulation, the signage that we would put there would look cheap, halfway done. It would not be the incentive that we want to entice tenants for that site.
If I may, Mr. Chairman.
Ms. Penn and then Ms. Nelson.
Frank's obviously been in to talk to me about this and has talked to Cindy, and I would observe that when we did the rewrite, and we did talk a lot about the signs, given the general lack of this kind of project in the past, it was not top of mind for us when we created the sign regulations. I would suggest, because we know we're going to be shortly thinking about ways in which we can amend our internal documents, this might be something we should look at for projects of this nature. How do we add something in there that accommodates this clear and obvious need? Now, that doesn't necessarily help you right now with this discussion, but just something to keep in mind.
Ms. Nelson.
I get what you're gonna put in there and I like it. What are you thinking as far as size?
The dimensions should be on the drawing that you have.
Do you guys have the drawing?
Yes.
Yeah,
I don't have it in my.
We added up to 55 square feet.
Yeah,
About 14, 15 feet tall.
and well, to be technically correct, that's without the tenants having their banner underneath that sign.
Well, I added it all up.
I apologize. You have the new version. That is correct. I apologize.
Added up totally 54.686, so roughly 55 square feet.
That's the new version.
Would that be taken? Would
Mr.
that be
Blackburn.
taking down the sign that's there and this be in the same place or?
There's no sign on that property now.
So I'm just, am I looking at this one?
Yeah, that's what threw me.
This one.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay.
It says it different.
The one you see on that other picture, Brian, it was superimposed.
No,
Oh, that
no.
one, no, that one there is down here by the, no,
Yeah, Cindy gave that to us as
It's an example.
an example.
an example. That's the one by the liquor store. Yes, that's correct.
Mr. Poplawski.
So, I mean, just to be transparent. Specifically, you're asking for a bigger sign, but with the increase. Don't take this the wrong way, I'm totally in favor of this whole thing, but. Going from 42,000 square feet to 100,000 square feet, traffic, you're talking maybe a traffic light down there, I think it's a little premature to be able to accept some sort of a sign increase, not knowing what the logistics of that entrance would be to cover you, right? Not for us to.
I like what you're saying because I have trouble with visualizing things. I can't do distance, height, all of that. I'd like to see after just what to follow through with what he is saying. So that I can actually go to the site and.
We don't know where it is.
Yeah, yeah.
100%.
I think it's a little bit premature at this point until we can. That's my thought.
No,
I don't think it's off the table, just to go back to what I'm
Yeah.
saying, and it's not off the table, and I don't
it's
think that,
premature.
I'm not
no, I'm with you.
peeing on the parade, I'm just. Being vocal about to protect you, to protect us for what we don't know and what the site plans might encompass.
I agree.
I think that the commission has been more than, you know, more than opportunistic for everyone who comes in and especially for you. So I look forward to it, but I just think it's premature.
Yeah.
Mr. Hill?
I mean, you're thinking of, there are several signs in town. 1020 is an example, pretty much the same sign, 520 the other side, Joe. That's another one.
Several.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
I think the trouble is, and I was gonna make it in with our commission comment, that when you read the regulation, our new definition of sign doesn't even refer to 275-15-6H. So we really, at this point, should be rewriting our regulations for zoning. He had no idea that when you read the definition of sign, doesn't say anything about sign, no issue. But I think tonight, you should sort of give some kind of a approval that, something that's 55 square feet, what he's proposing. Just a sign, that's what we should be talking about tonight, not its position on Riverside Drive at this point. That all happened in the future.
Mr. Blackburn?
I don't disagree with what you're saying, Alvin, but, and I would be amenable to, and we're receptive to discussing this, but I'm more concerned about not the dimensions are a whole lot less important than the position of the sign.
Yeah,
Correct.
yeah,
Right.
it's.
Correct.
My
still think it's a
concern
little
is what-
premature.
yeah.
February the 9th, we have a meeting organized, to bring in a lot of people that are real estate people. And we're trying to really get the word out
Yeah.
that we are building this commercial development. We need to create that in those incentives, or I think it's February the 9th.
Oh, that one, no, it's the morning of the 6th.
The
It's
morning
like a
of the 6th.
prototype of what it's gonna look like, so that you can sell them something. I get it, I understand.
You gotta be able to show them.
Yeah,
something.
you've gotta be able to, yeah, you need a prototype.
Frank, just for your context for that meeting,
Yes.
although yes, I mean, that is a commercial real estate networking meeting. The specifics of this sign, I don't think are as prime in what their concerns are gonna be as the concept of the structure itself.
I've been in the commercial real estate business for a long time.
No, I get what you are saying. I have worked with several corporations and I
Yeah.
understand what you're saying. So this meeting is on February 9th,
Six.
6th. Okay,
Yes.
so,
I think, I mean, right now, we've come to some sort of an agreement that we'd be more than, you know,
Yeah.
to look at it.
yeah,
No objection.
Perhaps,
Yeah,
Yeah,
perhaps they're the middle of the road.
Go ahead, Mr. Jakes.
So the way this is positioned, with the houses behind it,
Mhm.
I would think it would either have to go further into the parking lot. Or it would have to be taller so that these people pulling in and out of their driveways aren't getting clipped with cars coming down the line. So they.
No, that's a good point, but
is this, yeah,
to be honest with you, the dimensions cover that. We have done it dimensionally so that it is prominent sign, not hidden, and it's basically.
not gonna block the view with people going in and going out.
Exactly.
And that's because I've been
Exactly.
in
But
places,
you
yeah.
know, just looking at it here, it doesn't look
Yeah.
like it, you know, looks real low.
Yeah.
And even here.
Okay, so it will not block because that's, yeah.
Yeah.
40.
No,
Install it,
This is-
you're going to find the site.
This has got to be something that people want to locate in. They're not looking to add problems to a new
yes,
location.
yeah.
And if we're not considerate of that, we're making a mistake.
No, you want all your ducks in a row so that when you do your proposals to sell this,
Yeah.
they're gonna be on board with that, saying, well, this is gonna be a problem, that's gonna be a problem, yeah.
And I had a potential tenant, I would say, here's where you're assigned to.
Mhm, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
and it's gonna be on this billboard.
This is just showing 48 inches, that's why I was saying that, you know, because that's
Yeah.
pretty low to the ground.
Or people, it's a chain link fence
And then
there.
it shows two signs underneath that, so that's even lower than that. That's why I brought that.
No, I appreciate that. That was something that we actually considered.
Mr. Poplawski and then Mr. Santos.
Mr. Jakes, is it proposal to illuminate the sign as well?
No,
So it's not illuminated, just
No.
just.
it's not necessary to illuminate it. What we're looking at is commercial people that are there during the day.
Okay.
I really don't want to see people using this at night. Unless it was a storage facility where they have to have 3 shifts going on, like a shipping company or something. That's a different story. And then, if that is a different story, we come back to see you. And we
Yep.
tell you what we're thinking, and we ask your opinion.
Okay.
Mr. Santos?
That was my question on the late, but I was just gonna say this for Mr. Jake, so. Do we just say, may use this as an example for your real estate presentation, and we'll work out the details later on. Finalization of it.
Mr. Santos, I would love to do that, but I don't want to create a problem in the future.
And how many,
That's a great idea.
how many people are you having coming on the night?
Six,
It's the 6th, and it's a monthly commercial real estate networking group,
Oh, no,
which
no,
I
get-
attend, and
I
it,
get-
the,
I get that.
the number of people varies between a dozen and 20, depending on them.
I get that. I'm talking to you.
But that's the meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but I mean, when these people are coming. Okay, I've got.
It's my hope that these people will come. Each one of them has their own network.
Yeah.
So I'm envisioning this spreading out quite well, using the commercial real estate people in the area and their network.
Yeah.
So that word of mouth is going to be very important. And I don't want to see any negatives when they're talking to somebody that's the potential client, or a potential that is going to spread it to another group.
Okay.
I'm trying to eliminate any negatives that we have. We have, when you look at it, we have a significant number of positives here. I mean, basically, we're on state highway, we're in the middle of it.
Yeah, all of it.
We've got so many positives going.
good 3 phase.
I kind of said, Brian, what Brian had said,
I don't know.
it's okay, what you had said about being able to say, in other words, you're looking for a definite tonight.
Oh, I hate to put that kind of pressure on this group. What I think the compromise would be is to stay within the 55 square feet. We already have examples of existing businesses in the community now that are very close to that square
Yeah,
footage.
there are.
So I don't want to create a problem with saying we go to 100 square feet and then you have all these people mad at you. I think if we try to stay the same, 55 square feet works.
Will any of this be lit?
No, no, won't be lit,
Nothing.
not being lit.
I don't know.
Mr. Santos.
I'll ask it. This is the house. That's adjacent to this right here.
Who is it? I don't know. His name.
That's the friendly market in there.
The Sunnyside Market.
Sunnyside Market with the apartments right next to it.
No, the other house, the house
Across.
would be facing that sign. So the house right here, looking down towards like
Yeah.
the old Cumberlands. Is that,
Excellent.
Yeah, because but the entrance way to that is in between the Sunnyside, because there's apartment buildings right there. And then you got the house.
The parking lot that's on the side, it's not their property. It's
Yeah.
my property.
that's
That's
right
where
away.
the driveway is, you know.
This is facing the.
That's more than lighted,
Side of the house then.
where the market is, where the entrance to go into the market, the parking lot.
Where you go to the market, where everybody drives in right now, that's the entrance.
Well, that's,
That's the entrance to your property?
Yeah.
yeah, that's like what, 50 feet?
That's what I'm looking at right
That's
now.
like about 50 feet wide from the fence line.
In actuality, many years ago, when the property was subdivided to the owners at the time, the community thought in its wisdom that 40 feet was the dimension that they would live with.
Right,
So if this community said 40 feet. it's
Okay.
40 feet.
okay,
So
so,
it's a pre-existing non-conforming condition.
okay, but it's more than wide enough to create what you need to do.
That's right.
Because the sign, yes, the sign will work, but my feeling to that is that most of the signs in town are within 10 feet from the edge of the road.
Starting 20 feet. Can we just make sure we're only having one conversation at a time, please? Please continue, Mr. Henke.
My concern is that most of the signs you see in town are within 10 feet, like from the sidewalk or whatever. And if you can do that, the sign you want to do at 55 is more than enough. And keep the sight line, which would be a better sight line or. And stuff like that. So that would be my only. A condition to you is that, if you can move it back, but still have, because 40 feet. It will give you that good, say 75-foot. Sight line, depending on how you set if you put the sign in the middle of the 40 feet, that you got an in and an out. Perfect, you know what I mean?
Okay, no, I was going along with
Yes,
what
go ahead,
John was
yourself.
just saying, putting the sign up back a bit so that it, yeah.
And then Mr. Blackburn.
I would really like to see you just accept that you talked to the P&Z and we're receptive to working with you. Like I stated before, I'm more concerned where you're gonna put the sign. I don't care what sign looks like. Well, I do, but I'm more concerned about where the sign is, and we haven't discussed that at all, and I don't know that you're prepared to say where the sign's gonna be.
No, I'm not, because at this point right now, it's a matter of visual. First of all, I really would like to put it in the middle of the 40 feet. That's the right place to put it. But the sign people are saying it belongs over by the property line. So that's up in the air. I don't have an answer for that.
See, I agree with you. I think it'd be better in the middle of the entrance and exit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I agree with that too.
Mhm.
Yeah, and the size won't show much of an issue.
Just, yeah, Ms. Orr?
Yeah, so that's why I see it, the size would not be too much of an issue if it's in the middle of that 40-foot thing. Yeah.
Ms. Orr?
Then just to bounce off of Jane is, looking at it, there is the fence here, and have you talked to these people, if you were to put it here?
That'd be a problem.
No, I haven't talked to those owners of the property.
No, I like putting it back in the middle of those, yeah,
Mr. Williams.
I would lean towards that.
I agree, because that fence line, I mean, no offense, if I was. I would.
Fence on the fence?
Mr. Williams.
Well, looking at that picture.
Yeah.
What I was bringing up about sight line for the height and stuff, they've already got that blocked off, because that's pretty much a almost like a stockade fence, what they have there on their property now, so.
yeah.
Their vision is already impaired pulling out of their driveway now, so.
No, it's an excellent point.
Yeah.
And when I brought it up to the sign people, I thought about putting it right there in the middle of the driveway. And they said, yeah, we could do that. We can do whatever you want, but we think it belongs over here. So I've left it at that for the time being. But if you feel the same way I do, I think it belongs in the middle of the driveway.
Ms. Penn?
Can you guys remind me, and I believe I know the answer, but I want to be sure. We have, this commission has seen Mr. Jake's proposal as a concept, right? There is no approval of anything yet.
Right.
So at this point, anything you are talking to that real estate group about is conceptual in its nature until it is approved. So I personally don't see any issue with including the sign in the conceptual. And as Mr. Blackmer suggests, to say that you're working with the commission. I mean, I know this group really, really well. They're not going to hold you to the specifics of the thing as long as they have the idea. Because your final approval is going to be dependent on the final engineered plan and where the sight lines are determined to be, what your final decision on your square footage is going to be. So again, I kind of wouldn't sweat too much a specific waiver, which also, I don't know when you're finally coming to this commission with your application. It could be that if we rewrite this section for our annual September update, that may give you enough time. Now you may be wanting to move faster than that. That's entirely possible as well. So I don't like to see people get bogged down in details that don't exist yet.
Oh, I like that. No, you're hitting the nail right on the head. I think
Yeah, but I see what you are trying to do with the people that are coming, and they're done that, so I understand what you're saying
yes,
in conjunction with what Kira is saying. And what Mr. Blackner said, all of us have said. When you meet with these people, we are working with you.
yes.
Nothing's written in stone yet, so we can't actually say yes, no, yes, no.
Right.
So the key is the P and Z is working with you. And until we get the ideas, until the permit is brought in, the application, everything else.
Right.
So that's what you need. I've worked with several organizations, so that's, I would say that we are working with you on this.
Absolutely, and I can relay that
Yeah,
to people. I think we have the gist of where we're going. What we're trying to do tonight is allow me to create the incentives, to get tenants to move into that
I
section.
think we have given you that incentive.
Yes, you have.
I really do. I believe that we have. We want to see this come in as much as you do. It's going to be good for the community. So that is your lead in right there.
Mhm.
That the P and Z sees this as a good thing. Nothing's written in stone. So until that happens, we can't really vote, say yes or no,
Mhm.
but we are working with you.
Thank you for that. I
Okay.
appreciate that very much.
Thank you, Mr. Shin.
Is it possible for me to change the subject?
You, there's not a.
Well, there's citizens' comments coming.
Yeah, you can, share something during citizens' comments, which is
Okay.
coming up.
Citizens' comments.
Okay.
Thank you very much, by the way. I
Thank you,
appreciate
Mr.
it.
Item 13B, Robinson and Cole notice of exempt modification, facility modification, 720 Quinnipiac Road. We received-
Yeah, so the whole package is in the office. If you wanna look at it, well, actually, I have it right here.
Thank you, Cindy.
Oh, yeah, at the fire station.
Item. Actually, I think it's item 14, review of ZBA minutes. Is it? It should be.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're right, you're right.
But this isn't all the business, because then it's citizens' comments, and it's, yeah,
Commissioner comments.
Yeah.
these should all be different headings, but.
Sorry.
Okay.
Don't let it happen.
Hey, put your hand out, we're gonna,
You know, multiple people review those minutes.
oh, we'll bring it up.
So review of ZBA minutes, any questions, comments on the ZBA minutes that we received? Citizens' comments.
Well, that was a quick turnaround.
And I don't know if this is appropriate for this meeting, but I'm gonna throw it out anyway. A couple of days ago, I received a telephone call from one of the neighbors that wanted to tell me the fire department is looking to expand. I don't know if this is true or not. But if it is, before we start putting tenants into the site, this site is directly across the street from the existing fire station. And I would hate to see us enter into an agreement with some company to take this when it would be much more appropriate for some portion of that land to go to the fire department. That's my only comment. I don't know if it's true, but I thought this, what a better group to ask.
Mr. Chair.
Mr. Canoyer.
I think that's a better idea based on what's going on in general in the real estate.
Say again, please.
I think that's a better idea based on what's going on around us in the real estate world.
Oh, I would think so. And not only that, but there's a possibility that if that was the case, please don't hold me to this. But there's a possibility that land could be donated to the town.
I'm holding you to that.
Hey,
Strike
fair.
that.
He didn't hold us to anything, so we're not.
Yeah, but
Mr.
that's
Williams.
good.
We do gotta realize that the fire departments aren't town owned in town.
Yeah.
You know, so that's a difference.
That's a different thing.
So with that communication, you go directly to fire.
Yes, do that.
I was just gonna say.
Years ago, I did go to the fire department. Just, I always do that with surrounding neighbors and businesses when I do development. I like to see what the temperature is.
There's been changes in the town of the fire department. I would go talk.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will do that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jake.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your patience. Thank you for coming in.
Any other citizens' comments? See none in the room. I see none on the Zoom. Next item, commissioners' comments.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Lake.
if I may, I would like to pass out these pamphlets to you commissioners to read. I would like, and I did some research on this and everything, and I think this is something I think we should look into to make things like we just did tonight. Everything was very appropriate, how we have. Thank you, Tara, for letting me move this up, because I think with the microphone and everything, we had a better, people coming up and talking to us closer, made things better. So, and my recommendation to, pass these out on this side, please, Mr. Chair. I think you might have enough. And the, pass it that way, please. I would recommend to you people to read this very carefully. I read it 3 times because I did some, like I said, I did some research on this. And to see what we needed to do to get things moving forward for us to help with our meetings with the public and applicants. And if you go, and when you read this whole thing completely, go back to page 5 and start from 5 and read that, because the diagram of number 3, I feel, is the best suited to fit what we're doing, like this setup right here. And it worked. No, I'm just saying, read this completely through one time and then go back and start at page 5 and read it again all the way, and it really, let's just say it moves me a little bit, okay? Because I think this is something that we need to help, to get ourselves better publicly with the people itself. And tonight it worked good. They came right up to this table here, right in between us. We got to talk to them, and they felt much more comfortable talking to us here instead of out there. So we'll let the chair here decide next month if we want to discuss this or agree on it and everything. But that's my thought, is do this, have all the commissioners right here. And this is my thought. Everybody has a thought on it too, and have our staff and everything on the end, and we got the people over here in front of us. To me, it worked pretty good. I thought it was good.
Thank you, Mr. Lincoln.
I agree.
Yes, I'll-
Positioning does make a huge difference. All the corporations that I work with, it does make a difference. So I do love the way that this was handled. Similar to her. Yeah, it made it go. It made it. They knew where they had to go. They knew where they had to stay, and they got rid of some of the.
Thank you.
And, yeah.
Thank you, Ms. Hussey. Any other commissioners' comments? Thank you again, Mr. Lincoln.
You're welcome.
Mr. Blackburn.
I hope that when we have, for instance, the multiple use driveway. First of all, I commend whoever wrote that, but they don't need to make it anywhere near as long for me.
Yeah. I
Need just a little addition to that. We'll have more in that section on driveways than we do in the rest of the regulations.
Well, I think, yeah, we don't need to see the HOA, rules, regulations, because we don't vote on that to begin with.
So you don't want it printed, you don't want it in the packets?
I know, I don't need to see. If they say they have it in play, that's all that we're asking for, that they do have it in, that they are gonna be responsible for the plowing and the this and the that and everything else. I don't need to sit down and read Article 1, Section 2 and 29. I don't think that it's something that we need, because we don't vote on it.
Cindy, we can touch base on that. I think we can touch base. I think the approval from the town council.
Yeah, that's what.
That's fine with me.
Yeah,
It's
that
not
works.
a lot of paperweight, but.
Yes, it is.
I'm just going by the numbers and.
Yeah, my
That's on my checklist.
If the town attorney says it's good, then we should be able to just say, it's good.
Yeah, Kevin and I would love that.
Yeah, to make it a lot easier.
Yes.
Any other citizen or commissioner comments?
If anybody wants breakouts of the assumptions for the budget, I do have the breakout here for the ZO.
Thank you.
Thank you.
With that, our next meeting is February 26th, 2024, right here, 7 PM. And on Zoom. And motion made by Ms. Saucy, second by Mr. Hill. All those in favor? Any opposed? Meeting is adjourned at
to stay another
8:32 PM. Yeah.
Oh.
8:32.
Wednesday.
Ryan, are there two different sheets here?